Welcome to another edition of Monday Minute, this one for November 7th, 2002, and I'm glad you could spend a few minutes with me whenever you have a chance to watch this. I'm Frank Dunbar. I'm the Director of Congregational Care here at NewburgUMC Methodist Church, and so happy to be able to bring this brief devotion to you today. I want to quickly mention a few announcements of things upcoming this week so that we're aware of those things before I begin. Our Unpacked series begins a new session in spiritual gifts starting this Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning, both Zoom or rather online, but I use Zoom as a platform, and also in Asbury Lounge. So we do both at the same time, and you're certainly welcome to join that. If you have any questions, you can seek the information out on the website, which I'll give you in a minute. Secondly, our Parents' Night Out is this coming Friday on Friday in the evening, and you will need to register for it by Wednesday. So if you need a break from parenting and need to take a few minutes to yourself and drop your child off and have some great care, that's the way to do it. So make sure you sign up. Speaking of sign-ups, I want to remind people that the winter retreat sign-up is available on our upcoming events page on the website. And at the near the bottom of that, all those events, because it's a January event, there'll be a link there that you can review the costs, the theme, what's going to happen at the retreat, and then indicate your desire to come and your potential rooming arrangements that would allow you to be there. And there's so much information that is available on the website. I want to make sure that while you're looking for retreat information and signing up, that you also scan through the other activities that we have upcoming and make sure that you are looking and seeing what's available there. So NewburgUMC.org is the place to go. And as the leaves fall behind me, make sure that you check out the things that we're doing this fall. So before we get into our devotion, I wanted to also mention a little bit about what I'm doing here. I'm combining two of our unpacked things together. We just finished one on sacraments, and I'm going to talk specifically about a part of baptism. And then we're going to move into spiritual gifts. And I want to talk a little bit about one of the spiritual gifts and how important it is for our congregation. So kind of connecting two dots here between what we just did and what we're going to be doing, and also how it may relate to us. So first, I want to mention in baptism, in our hymnal, when we go through a baptismal ceremony with someone in the congregation or a person who is joining the church and needs to be baptized, we have these, the folks answer questions, the individual answers questions, but one other thing happens is we as a congregation answer a very important question as well. And the question reads as follows, and I'm reading right out of the hymnal so you can see here. It says, the pastor says, "Will you nurture one another in the Christian faith and life, and include these persons or this person now before you're in your care," including them in your care. And we answer as a congregation, we say, and I'm again quoting from the Baptismal Covenant Liturgy, it says, "With God's help, we will proclaim the good news and live according to the example of Christ. We will surround these persons or this person with a community of love and forgiveness, that he or she or they, if it's a group, may grow in their trust of God and be found faithful in their service to others. We will pray for them, that they may become the true disciples who walk in the way that leads to life." May become true disciples who walk in the way that leads to life. You know, life in its fullest is the best in some respects when we care for one another. We reach out to one another when we're hope-filled and guiding and loving and caring to our neighbor, which is the next person we meet, or anybody we meet for that matter, here or across the globe, and we care for them. We reach out in compassion. And one of the spiritual gifts that is spoken of in Romans 12, one of the three places in Scripture spiritual gifts are talked about, but in Romans 12, one of those gifts is the gift of compassion. Some call it the gift of mercy, or some of the translations call it the gift of mercy. But the gift of compassion, which means, of course, sympathy, offering care, offering a sensitivity to a person's situation, a desire to lessen their suffering or hurt, a desire to walk with that person for a few steps just to see what their life is like and getting to know them well. That's care, that's compassion, that's mercy for a person surrounding us or being next to us, walking with us, and our reaching out a hand to walk with them. These days, after the COVID pandemic, well, we're kind of in the middle still, I know of it, but we're kind of seeing our way forward out of it. Care and compassion have taken a back seat to some respects to safety. We've certainly want to keep safe, and I don't want to indicate anything different for anyone else. But at the same time, we need to be able to begin to rekindle our relationships and reach out to people and care for them and follow our baptismal covenant in doing so. And our baptismal covenant calls for us to pray for folks and to reach out for folks, and it's not the job of just the church staff, although they're certainly involved with that. In my job in particular, I'm involved with that. But at the same time, it's the job of everybody. It's the job of everyone in the congregation to care for others. So what does that look like? Someone is on your mind, you think of a certain individual, perhaps just picking up the phone and calling them, or writing a card, or an email or a text. Honestly, every form of communication these days is so helpful. I use every one of them to contact members of our congregation. Some people really prefer electronic and simple communications like that because they can do it quickly and easily. Others require more, a phone call or handwritten letter, and of course, a visit if people feel safe to come. But I want to indicate again that this is the work of the congregation, not just the work of me as the minister of congregational care, not just the work of Chad, who's our pastor, not just the work of Reverend Gassaway, who is our deacon. It's really all of our job to do that. And we need to be included in all of that. So let us know when something needs to be addressed. Let us know when you're concerned about an individual. Reach out in compassion and care. But at the same time, follow your baptismal covenant and also reach out on your own, making sure that you're involved in the care and feeding and loving of the folks in our congregation, because you actually, I'm pretty sure, would want the same for yourself. I hope you have a great day, a great week, everything going forward. And I just thank you for the time that you spent this day. All the best to you. God's peace and grace.